He's the man of the hour, the man with the power. He's too sweet to be sour. We're talking about superstar Billy Graham and the Toys R Us exclusives. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we continue our weekly Tuesday deep dives into the Jakks Classic Superstars series. You too can be a Jakks Classic Superstars expert. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Like the video like everybody tells you to do, of course, as well. And we're continuing on with the Superstar Billy Graham Toys R Us exclusive figures. A very interesting video we got for you today. But if you missed any of the videos, go back. Check them out. We did the single cards. We've done the 2-packs. We've done the 3-packs. We've done a ton of different exclusives, and that's where we currently are in the video series. We're doing exclusives, and we still have the deluxe classics to go as well, plus a few other videos along the way. So we still got a long ways to go on these Jakks videos, and we've been doing them for over a year now. But like I said, today, we're talking Superstar Billy Graham. A little bit of the generation before me. My memory of Superstar Billy Graham when I first started watching wrestling was him as an announcer and him as a manager of Don the Rock Morocco, of course. That was where I remember him. But if you go back to somebody like my dad, and my dad and I did a Warlord unboxing on the channel, Mattel Elite. Check that video out if you missed that. But my dad, he was in college when Superstar was at his height of fandom. He'd been the WWE champion. He was in the AWA doing stuff with old Marty O'Neill, as my dad always says. He does a great impression. Maybe we'll bring him on one of these days to do that. As my dad loved the Superstar, and a lot of the 60s and 70s favorites really loved Superstar Billy Graham, especially in the 70s, where he really hit his height of his zenith, I would say, and then into the early 80s. Then he hit the ninja gimmick, and that's where things kind of fell off the bus. Injuries, steroid abuse, all that kind of stuff, and he's had a lot of health problems over the years. And Superstar's been one of those characters that have been in and out of good favor with the WWE over the years. I think he's in okay favor right now. He'd been out and back. Well, mid-2000s, he finally went into the WWE Hall of Fame. They released a DVD biography of his life, matches, stuff like that, like WWE did or still does a little bit. And they also released his autobiography. And a part of all this, it was just, hey, these kids out there that collect toys, they're clamoring for modern-day Superstar Billy Graham figures. And really, we never had one before these, and we didn't really get Superstar Billy Graham figures. He just missed the LJN days, obviously not a part of the Hasbro days and so forth. So Classic Superstars was really his first foray into action figures. And what a foray it was with exclusive figures. Yes, exclusive figures. We've touched on these in the past a little bit, at least 2 of them. And we'll touch on them here just to keep it all together a little bit. But we're going to talk about 3 specific ones that we got. But they said, you know what, Superstar Billy Graham Mania is coming. The first one we saw was this one, of course. Very famous with his yellow boa, all that. This is what most people think of when they think Superstar Billy Graham. And this came out in Series 9 in the Jakks Classic Superstars series. And I got that one right here, of course. So there's that one right there. Have to have it on card. You guys know me. I should have hit my dad's house. He doesn't live too far away because he has most of these off card, except for the really rare one. He has them off card, and I could have borrowed them for this video. And one day he said I could get those in the will with his Warlord collection. So stay tuned for that, hopefully a long time from now. But there's Superstar from Series 9, so we wanted to show that real quick. We did a deep dive in that video, and we went through the Series 9, so look that one up if you are interested. So we got that, and then we touched on this one last week. They came off with an exclusive, Canadian exclusive, the first ever black and white Classic Superstars figure. We did get an Undertaker black and white in the Ruthless Aggression line as a Canadian exclusive as well. But this one of 3,000, Superstar Billy Graham. You got the sticker on there, 1 of 3,000. Only involved up in Canada, black and white. Very interesting here. So that was another exclusive they gave us. It's basically this figure we just showed with the boa, minus the boa, of course, in black and white. So pretty cool there. Superstar on the side. You got his name or his glamour shot right there. And, of course, you got the back of the packaging. Not promoting anything else. It shows us that, back in the day when everybody had black and white TVs, this is what you got. This is what Superstar looked to the people. So really cool little blurb about that right there. Superstar debuted 1971, height 6'3", 265 pounds, WWE champion, WWE manager, WWE Hall of Famer, and best-selling author, we'll say. Favorite quote, the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour. There he is. So Canadian exclusive. We talked about this in last week's video. The Toys R Us store exclusives. Go back and check that one out if you did miss that. We talked about Hillbilly Jim as well. Really interesting take on figures that we don't really see at all anymore. So that was an interesting video. But Superstar Canadian exclusive 1 of 3,000 was the first really crazy one, and I didn't even think this existed. Like a lot of exclusives, especially back in the day in the 2005 era, you were shocked. You're like, oh, this can't be real. This is some kind of computer trickery, some wizardry out there. This can't be real. And then you find out they actually are. And that's how that one went down. But then Toys R Us got full cases of Superstar figures. And I'm trying to, for some reason, my mind feels like I just went to Toys R Us because I've told the story before. Fridays was Toys R Us truck day in my town. That was the day all the new figures came. They got truckloads on Friday, and Friday they would go up. So that was always the day to hit Toys R Us in my area. Your area could have been different, but that was mine. But for some reason, I seem to remember going in and just seeing these on the pegs and just being absolutely flabbergasted. I think I fell over. I said, this can't be true. This can't be it. I never heard of these. And that's how I remember it. But part of me says I had to have seen this online. But much like Toys R Us back in the day, we talked about this with the Toys R Us 2-packs back in the day. Jakks did not need to promote the store exclusives because that was up to the store. The store already paid the bill for these. Jakks said, hey, they're yours. You guys promote them. Unlike their traditional lines that go to all retailers, they have to help promote those a little bit. They have to try to sell those in. This was a store exclusive. They don't need to promote these. So 99% of the time, it was surprises. Oh, there's a 2-pack, there's a store exclusive. Nobody knew because Toys R Us wasn't spending their ad budget to promote these things. They would just show up. And a lot of times it was the West Coast back in the Classic Superstars days that would get the figures first. And that's what we'd see. We'd see it pop up and say, holy cow, this 2-pack set's out. And I would always know about a week to 2 weeks later on a Friday, my store would get the set. So it was like clockwork, which I loved. I had it, and I say it all the time in figure hunting. You don't just kamikaze go to stores. You have to work a plan. If you're only going to go to a couple of stores, you got to go to them every day for a while to figure out their system. What are their stock patterns? That's the easy way to figure hunt, and that's what I did. At an early age, my dad taught me that. He sat me down one time and said, Kyle, I'm going to tell you the secret to figure hunting. Here's how you do it. And I've never strayed off that. It still holds true to this day for the most part. But that's what I remember. I remember seeing these in person and just being absolutely shocked. So let's get into them. Let's go through these one by one. Here's the first Superstar Billy Graham Toys R Us exclusive. And I would have to say probably my favorite one. When I think Superstar, where I came into Superstar's career, he looked more like this than the BOA version that I'll stick over here. Now, somebody like my dad, he thinks Classic Superstar, or he thinks Superstar Billy Graham, that's what he thinks of. Somebody of my age, this is how I remember him. This is right at the end of his wrestling, kind of, with Don Morocco and stuff as a manager and announcer. This is kind of what I remember. But take a look at it there. You get a little reuse from the other Superstar. We're changing the boot color from red to yellow, though. And then you got the generic top, and then you got a very awesome head on this one. I love this Billy Graham head. Just amazing. Amazing head right there. Limited edition. Now, these shipped in a case of itself, and most Toys R Us's, mine was probably not alone, were swimming in these 3 figures we're going to go through for a long time. I don't remember them going to absolute clearance, but they hung around for a long time, and we'll talk about it for each one. This one seemed to be the most popular one, the one that fell off the shelves the best, because this was the most wrestling gear one. That's how I remember seeing it. But there's Superstar right there. Name on the side, of course. And there you got a little glamour shot of the old Superstar. A lot of people are like, oh, is this Scott Steiner? No, not quite. On the back, you got all 3 that we're going to talk about right here. You got a glamour shot up top, UPC's warnings, and then we got a little blurb. Let's read the blurb. I believe they're all the same, so we'll only need to read one of them. Debuted 1971, 265 pounds, 6'3", WWE champion, WWE manager, WWE Hall of Fame inductee, the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour. So they kept the same thing for every single one, which makes sense, but we didn't see that with some of the other Classic Superstars throughout the years. But this one, very cool. I love the ring gear. I love the yellow boots, a little point of difference. The start of his career, kind of the end of his wrestling career. No Ninja Billy Graham, unfortunately, or Karate Man Billy Graham. Maybe someday, maybe one day. So there you go. You got those 2 right there. Now we turn our attention to the one that was the biggest peg warmer of the bunch. This one was around forever. But this one was truly a customizer's dream. Talk about basic, bland body. You could pop the head off and you could turn this into almost anybody. And I see to this day a lot of people do that. But like I said, this one hung around the longest. Classic Superstars were interesting. The peg warmers of each set, you would see just floating around for years sometimes. Like the Bushwhackers 2-pack, stuff like that. And the star would be mega mangled or ripped because it had been touched so many times. It had been thrown and ditched, and it was just a hot mess. And the Superstar, unfortunately, was a lot like that. We'd see him around for a long time. Once again, he does ship in his own case assortment, but nothing really special with this, just blue jeans, nothing else. And I should say for these 3 figures, they never announced, are these 1 of 5,000, 1 of 10,000, something like that. My gut tells me they're at least a minimum of 10,000. They're not super, super valuable. At least they weren't. I don't know if today they are, but I think these are pretty easily tracked down. As like I said, they were fairly big peg warmers. It's pretty tough to send this many of a character that at that time not a lot of people had fondness for, but he did have a book out. He did have a DVD out. He did go into the Hall of Fame. So there was a little bit more publicity for the Superstar than years past. But you got the same glamour shot, same thing, same packaging, same everything right there. So there it is. And like I said, my dad has these loose. I should have grabbed them from him, but it is what it is. So there's the blue jean version. We got the wrestling version. Same head on both these, I should say. All 3 of these. They said, hey, we'll just use the same head 3 times. So give them 3 different bodies. And that's what they did. And then the final one was an interesting one, and one I really do like. Superstar Billy Graham, I think of this as announcer, manager, Superstar Billy Graham. I believe this was from maybe the Slammies. He wore this suit as well, which we did get a Hulk Hogan from the Slammies, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But this is kind of cool, a pink outfit like this. Once again, a customizer's dream. You could pop this head off, and you could turn this into anybody. You could make a Jakks Seth Rollins with this, him and his crazy outfits he's had lately. But this one seemed to be the second most popular of the 3. In my eyes and what I saw at retail moving through the system. So there he is. And then once again, same packaging, same everything going on here. Got the 3 down below. But I always love this one. Just the pink really does pop, of course, as you can imagine. So there's the 3rd Superstar Billy Graham. So really interesting to get 3 of those, then a Canadian exclusive, and then of course the Series 7 that we already had. Superstar Billy Graham Mania, just running wild at that time. We actually, if you guys remember last year, got a collector's edition Walmart exclusive Superstars Billy Graham with alternate heads, which I thought was a really cool feature. So even to this day, we're still getting represented in the Superstar Billy Graham, and I'm all for more. He was the first big jacked up dude. Hulk Hogan took a lot from Superstar Billy Graham, as we all know. So he does definitely have a place in history. But then we got to talk about the last one, and this is the other one we talked about before. Once again, this was an in-store for only 1 Toys R Us exclusive. Some people view this as 1 of 500. Some say 1 of 5,000. I've always seen 1 of 100 thrown around as well, and I would not be shocked if this was 100. This does not come up very often. It is the Series 9 Superstar Billy Graham, but you got orange tights, a little bit of difference there. You got the limited edition sticker. However, I wish we could find out somehow what the announcement or the number count is on this one. We've never really known. It's never been 100% confirmed. I really don't think it ever will be, but it's another classic Superstar Billy Graham we got there. And I like this one a lot. And like I said in the other video, I talked about it took me a long time to track this down. Played a little bit of that long game for years to finally get this at a good price. This still does pop up, but you're looking at $250 to $500, I think is what they're usually popping up for. So it is a pricey one out there, but if you're going to be a completist, you got to have this one, unless you know. I count this as part of the complete collection because I don't know the number value on it. I don't count the 1 of 100s and the 1 of 25s and the, Warrior exclusives. I don't count those because there was no real opportunity to get those unless you were in the industry. Where this one you could get because you went to the store, and that's collector's brain. We all have our rules, and that's how I view classic Superstars for at least these. But pretty solid. If you're a classic Superstars Billy Graham fan, you're all over this. I can see some people that didn't care about Billy Graham, didn't know Billy Graham, they just have an audible groan like, why do I have to buy all these classic Superstar Billy Graham figures? You don't have to, but if you want to be a completist, you do. But for somebody like me, that my dad loved Billy Graham, I liked him when I first started getting into wrestling. I read his book, I watched his DVD, I've went back and watched a ton of his matches over the years. This is something I enjoy. I love the first jacked up dude from back in the day. He really started the 80s revolution, and he truly was before his time. I think that is the fairest assessment we've ever had on this channel. He would have been just absolutely massive if he was in the Hogan Warrior days. He was just a few years too soon, and unfortunately some people have forgotten about the old Superstar. But we have got, like I said, a Mattel one, so he's still around, he's still clonking around. And I'd take more superstars all day long, but I think this is a pretty cool setup right here. You guys in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this. Did you guys have any memories of finding these in the stores? Do you remember this jeans one being the ultimate peg warmer? You guys let me know your thoughts on these Superstar Billy Graham figures. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you hit the old notification bell and subscribe to the channel. You guys know we're doing these every single Tuesday for over a year now. We're going to make everybody a Jakks Class Superstars expert, and I'm here to share my collection with you guys and have some good Jakks Classic Superstars discussion. As always, you can find me at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, support the channel. For Superstar Billy Graham, I'm Superstar Kyle Peterson. I'll see you guys all real soon.